What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're tackling a big topic that's been circling around the bourbon world lately. Has the bourbon bubble popped? We've seen crazy prices on the secondary market, random new producers rushing out overpriced finished products, and lately, things have started to slow down. So in this video, I'm going to break down what's happening, what's cooled off, what's still hot, and what this means for the future of bourbon collectors and drinkers. Let's get into it. If you enjoy bourbon content like this, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more reviews, market updates, and deep dives into all things bourbon. It really helps the channel grow, and I'd love to have you along for the ride. To understand where we are now, you have to look at where we've been. Over the past decade, bourbon went through one of the biggest boom periods the industry's ever seen. Bottles like Elmer T, Blanton's, and Weller 12 started disappearing off shelves. The secondary market exploded. Bottles you could buy for $35 to $60 at retail were going for $200, $500, sometimes over $800 online. Distilleries ramped up production, new brands flooded the market, and finished products started popping up everywhere. Port finished, honey barrels, tequila casks, maple syrup finishes, you name it. But over the last year or so, we've seen the cracks start to show. The prices on secondary for a lot of bottles have dropped, and not by a little. Take Pappy Van Winkle 15-year, for example. Not long ago, it was selling consistently for around $2,500 on the secondary market. These days, you can find bottles moving for closer to $1,500. Still expensive, but a massive drop for a bottle people use to fight tooth and nail for. Or look at Elmer T, a bottle that was fetching $300 to $350 at its peak on secondary is now regularly selling for around $150 to $180. That's over a 40% price decline. And one of the biggest culprits has been these random new distilling brands. You know the type. Sourcing cheap bulk barrels from whoever will sell them, finishing them in whatever wine, rum, or maple cask they can find to mask flaws, and then slapping a $100 price tag on it like it's some super premium bottle. And frankly, people are getting wise to it. Consumers today are more informed than ever. They check reviews, talk in groups, watch YouTube videos like this, and they're not falling for the cash grab brands as easily. Add to that, folks just don't have the same disposable income they had a couple years ago. Inflation's up, the cost of living's higher, and luxury spending like secondary bourbon buys or overpriced limited bottles have taken a hit. Another sign of shifts in the bourbon industry is news like Brown-Forman shutting down their longtime cooperage in Louisville. For decades, their cooperage supplied barrels for some of their biggest brands. But as production needs and logistics evolve, they've decided to close that facility and consolidate barrel making elsewhere. This move highlights how even major players are adjusting to changing demand and cost structures behind the scenes. It's not just about bottles on shelves. The entire supply chain is feeling the effects of this market correction. Now, before you think I'm here to say bourbon is dying, let me be clear, it's not. What we're seeing isn't a collapse, it's a correction. The boom era might be over, but there's still strong demand for quality products. Bottles like Buffalo Trace Store Picks, Four Roses Limited Editions, Old Forester Birthday Bourbon, and other well-made limiteds still move fast. The difference is, people are a little pickier now. If a $150 plus bottle drops, people actually ask if it's good before buying it, and that's healthy for the market. In my opinion, this is actually a good thing. The bourbon world was oversaturated with overpriced, overhyped bottles, and half of them weren't worth half of what they were asking. This correction is weeding out the gimmicks and letting the truly good, consistent products shine. I also think the days of flipping bottles for 10x profit are mostly behind us. And honestly, I'm okay with that. The hobby's better when people are buying bottles to drink, collect, and share, not just to scalp. But the community is still massive. Distilleries are still releasing new, thoughtful expressions, and the culture around bourbon is alive and well. We're just shifting out of the mania phase and into a more sustainable market. So, has the bourbon bubble popped? Yes. In the sense that the crazy secondary prices and flood of overpriced sourced bottles are fading. But bourbon itself isn't going anywhere. We're just entering a new era where quality, value, and reputation matter more than hype. I'd love to hear what you think. Do you believe the bourbon bubble has popped? And what do you think the long-term future holds for bourbon collectors and fans? Drop your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's get the conversation started.